Okay, what we are going to do in this session, we are going to have a look on our July 2021 case study exam paper, basically. So this is 21st July 2021, the date on which our actual case study exam was in ICAEW. These are some instructions. Normally these instructions are seen, but to be on a safe side, it is good, it is advisable to read out these instructions very carefully. So read out these instructions and then start the exam. Then on a very next page, we have some list of exhibits and we can see that there are some 14 exhibits. All of these 14 exhibits are same as in our previous advanced information for HP Limited. We have some new exhibits, and new exhibit starts from exhibit 15. So these exhibits are new information pieces. Exhibit 15, 16, 17, 18, 19A, and 19B. So 5 to 6 new exhibits are here. What we have to do, according to our understanding of 14 previous advanced information exhibits, we have to relate new information as mentioned in exam paper according to our requirements, and then we have to comment and we have to complete out our exam. Both exam paper and advanced information play a very, very important role. This page, you can also go for a brief reading because again, most of the time your requirements are same, each and everything is same, but it is advisable to go for this point because sometimes examiner might change this marking key. But most of the side requirements marking key is same as we were discussing, but it is quite possible it might be a little bit changed. So you have to be very, very careful and familiar with your marking key. Now, our main story starts from here. Exhibit 15, we have email is from this person to this person. Subject, draft management accounts and business developments. Date is 21st July 2021. There have been a number of significant recent developments. I am attaching the following. HP's draft management account for year ended 30th June 2021, Exhibit 16. Additional information relating to management accounts, Exhibit 17. An email from Hans to me relating to phase 2 of our ERP project, Exhibit 18. An email from Ross to me with a proposal for HP to enter into an exclusive supply arrangement, 19A, together with related media coverage, Exhibit 19B, basically. So we have these 4 new exhibits in this exam. Please draft for my review a report addressed to HP board. Yes, we know that we have to write a report for HP board. The report should comprise the following. Yes, these are our requirements. A review of HP's management account for year ended 30th June 2021 in comparison with year ended 30th June 2020, basically. So that is my comparison, year-wise 2021 with 2020. Sometimes it could be with your forecast, with your budget, it could be with your any other thing. But examiner is going to tell you what you have to do. Your review should be based on management accounts as set out in Exhibit 16. It should cover revenue for each division, RH and BCT, each channel, branch and online, and in total. Just give a full stop. So what we have in this portion, in this point, first of all, we have a revenue for each division, first of all, each division, RH and BCT, revenue for each channel. Yes, according to our advanced information, we know that primarily there are two revenue streams. First of all, it is branch, and secondly, it is online. So we have to explain, we have to analyze in both ways. Either it is for a division case, RH and BCT. We have two divisions, RH and BCT. Further, we have two channels, branch and online. And other thing, and in total here as well. So what I am going to do, I'm going to talk about revenue from three perspectives. First of all, in total. Secondly, for each division, RH and BCT. And thirdly, for each channel, branch and online. So you need to provide a lot of explanation, a big requirement for our revenue. In most of our exam, we have a big requirement. We have a larger portion of our requirement one that belongs with your revenue analysis. It means I should be very, very good with my revenue analysis, with my revenue points. What should I write? What I should not write? How to provide relevant explanation, appropriate analysis for your revenue. It is highly required, highly required from a good candidate, basically. How we can do? If we just have an overview of advanced information. Yes, these are management accounts. In this exhibit 6, we have management accounts. This is exhibit 6, management accounts. First of all, we have a revenue total. We have note 1. If we move on to note 1, then we can see we have revenue for RH and we have revenue for BCT. It means this is my revenue for each division, RH and BCT. So if we have this kind of information, this kind of breakup in my advanced information, it is likely, it is quite possible, examiner might test this requirement in this way. Further, what we have total revenue, but we have a classification of branch, we have a classification among online. Again, same requirement, a very easy and typical requirement, channel, branch, and online. So you just need to analyze the trend of 2020. You need to compare these 2020 figures with 2021. New figures, 2021 figures have been provided in our new exam, basically. So what you are going to do, just give me a second. So what you are going to do, so here we have 2020 figures. Here we have 2021 figures. Again, moving on to note 1. We have same explanation. Again, this information is for 2021. We have RH and BCT. You can see, you can feel we have same points, same thing for previous information, advanced information. Same pattern, in same pattern, we have been provided with advanced information. In same pattern, same fashion, we have our exam paper. Again, it is total, branch, and online. It is again total, branch, and online, basically. These are requirements. Revenue for each division, RH and BCT, revenue for each channel, branch, and online, and finally in total and in total. It is quite possible if we read out our requirement in a quick fashion, then we can understand it here and we might not analyze our total revenue, which might not be good because we can lose out some of our marks. Always read your requirement at least 2 to 3 times to understand it properly. Now, I hope that you people will be having good idea about your revenue requirement. Cost of sale and gross profit for each division and in total. So we need to go for cost of sale, that could be 0.4. And gross profit for each division. Gross profit is for division and not for channel. We can see this point in our advanced information. We have cost of sale. Again, we have cost of sale for RH and BCT. We have gross profit for RH and BCT. We don't have cost of sale and gross profit for branch and online. If it is not in advanced information, it is likely possible it is not going to be tested in your exam paper because we don't have classification of cost of sale among branch and online. Why? There is a reason here as well. Because data could not be segregated, it could not be allocated. We have common staff working for both branch and online operation. And this was clearly mentioned in our advanced information. But let's say it's quite possible in our new exam, if we have different revenue stream, so we might have different staff. If there is a different staff, then proper allocation of staff would be here. Breakup of information would be here. If we do not have such breakup, it means it is possible it is not going to be tested it out. So your exam is very, very simple. You need to be good with your logics. Again, you can see we have cost of sale breakup for RH and BCT. We have gross profit structure with my RH and BCT. And this was my requirement number 1. For each division, we have for division and we do not have for channel because classification among branch and online is not given to me in my advanced information. So sometimes students might be confused. I need to analyze. I wish I could analyze it for each channel, but unfortunately we don't have information. Do not waste your time on this point. And even do not mention in your exam, if I could have information, then I could analyze through channel wise. Not required at all because examiner knows what he or she has to provide and what not. If you make such bad comments, this is something not good for you. For each division and in total here as well. So this is going to be your 6th one. Distribution costs and administrative expenses and operating profits. Let's come back to advanced information. Why I am referring it to, just to make you analyze how you can practice it out. So we have distribution costs, no note. It means if you do not have any note, not much explanation could be provided for here. Obviously, we will analyze, we will explain, but not much detail. What do we mean by distribution cost? What is included in distribution cost, basically. Then we have administrative expenses, note 2. We can see administrative expenses. Yes, then we can make a comment on personnel, IT premises, marketing and advertising, and then we have some detail. And this information, these management accounts have been analyzed in our advanced information session, basically. So if I just refer to exam paper, then again, same explanation is here. We have administrative expenses, we have personnel, we have IT premises. Again, same explanation is here. You can see same explanation is here. Same points are here as well. So you can analyze these costs: personnel, IT premises, marketing, and advertising. You can see cost is changed in total. Further in class wise, like in person, IT, marketing. So in total, that is 3016 in your real exam, but it was 3326 in your advanced information. We have 1418 for personnel in advanced information, but it is 1249. We have 1543 for IT in exam paper, but we have 1619 for IT. We have marketing and advertising 289, but we have 224. A small change in marketing and advertising, but some changes in personnel and IT. And I believe you people will be able to make a comment why it is changing, so what will be the impact. And further, we will discuss in our complete session when you are going to write down your script, basically. Come back to exam paper, we are done till here. But We have last point. You should incorporate in your review the additional information in Exhibit 17. That is my additional requirement. You can say a seventh one, some brief one, and eighth one, and ninth one, and 10th one. So these small point. So we should focus on Exhibit 17. Just have an overview of Exhibit 17. Yes, this is my Exhibit 17. This notice set in context of newly released unofficial industry data showing that in 12 months to 30th June 2021, demand for both house building and home renovation work was 10% lower than previous year. My demand is lower. Obviously, demand is lower, then definitely there will be some impact. Again, we have some information here as well. What we have to do, we have to review this information and then we have to make proper brief comment about what it is basically. So this is basically our Exhibit 17. And normally these type of additional requirements, these additional points are called as twist. Why twist? Because it involves some sort of judgment, some sort of explanation, little bit more use of mind as compared to simple analysis of revenue, simple analysis of management accounts basically. This was my requirement 1D brief basically. I hope that you people will be having a good idea about this. Moving forward, I have used multiple pillars just to differentiate between two different requirements, and you can do it same in your real exam with your new exam software. An evaluation of two possible vendors for phase 2 of HP's ERP project, we have Exhibit 18. Using the information in Exhibit 18, you should calculate the incremental operating profit for HP using each vendor, this and this one, for each of 3 years and in total. What is required? It means this is again going to be my calculation portion. And I should calculate for gross mark and transit for 3 years and also in total. That is incremental operating profit. This is something a very, very important point. Further, you should assess the adequacy of assumptions and estimates. Either these assumptions are reasonable, adequate, can they be achieved, reliable. What about who has prepared this information, applying professional skepticism, 7 P's of professional skepticism, professional judgment that we have discussed in our sessions basically. Applying relevant financial and non-financial criteria, you should recommend with reason which two of proposal HP should accept, which proposal you should accept and why you should accept it basically. You should also mention the reason why. You should also advise HP on issues arising from plan to convert Warrington branch and Princeton branches to warehouse space basically. Again, additional requirement, that is a twist. You need to think about this issue. If you convert your 2 branches into extra space, extra warehouse, what you should do? What will be the implication? Simply do not just mention the theory, mention your implication basically. What would be the implication? This is my requirement too. Let me summarize again. First of all, go with your calculation both of the vendors for 3 years and in total. Then discuss your assumptions, reliability, adequacy, achievability, ideal, or what kind of assumption that you have. Reasonable or not? Can they be achieved or not? Can you go with this assumption, these points or not? Then go with recommendation, conclusion of proposal, and then you should advise basically. You should not say, let's say if situation will be there, I will accept gross mark. If situation is different, I will accept transit, and you are leaving your conclusion recommendation in an open end. No, you are final year trainee, you are going to be ACA qualified. So examiner requires some kind of judgment from you. So you should comment, you should conclude, you should not be afraid it is right or wrong. As I told you earlier, your explanation, your conclusion, your recommendation in same direction. Your explanation and conclusion in same direction. Recommendation is about your issue. So please be careful. Do not use what if and so, like, but in your conclusion, if situation is there, I will accept gross mark. If situation is different, I will choose transit. You have situation, you have data, you have all information, you are in exam. Now you should think, you should conclude what you are going to do. Let's say if due to some reason your calculation is not right, that's fine. You should try to calculate it right. But let's say due to some reason it is not right, that is fine. You have a lot of marks for your explanation, conclusion, and so on. Moving on to last part for today, that is going to be requirement 3, an evaluation of proposal to enter into an exclusive supply arrangement with C, a major UK builder of home cares and retirement villages. You should identify with relevant calculation. Again, this is going to be something good for me. Why? Because I always wish that there is some calculation in requirement 3. Because if there will be no calculation in requirement 3, then whole of your requirement would be theoretical. It is a bit difficult in a theoretical side to get good marks as compared to requirement who has some marks for calculation. So again, we will be having calculation in requirement 1 and 2. It will be a very detailed calculation, but in requirement 3, as I was just telling you when we were talking about requirement 3, that requirement 3 calculation is pretty simple. A very small calculation, because major focus of requirement 3 is on commercial side, financial, operational, and strategic, benefits and risk, ethics and business trust. So examiner is just going to test a small portion of calculation in requirement 3. If there is no calculation, again, your marks will be more for your theoretical area. But now a little bit less marks for theoretical area. Again, calculations are a favorite area for most of the students. If I just have an overview of marking key of requirement 3, then you can see. First box, numbers labeled calculation. First box. Second box, again for calculation. Aspirant as box 1, again some calculation. So lot of easy marks for your calculation. Lot of easy marks. 3 boxes are here. Out of 11, 3 boxes. You can see around 30% of marks for calculation. If you go with the right calculation, it gives you a lot of relaxation. You can pass out your exam in a very easy fashion. But just assume if you don't have this calculation, then just read it out. SPS box 2, SPS box 3, AJ box 2, AJ box 3. So again, your points will be theoretical. Theoretical box is the relatively difficult to pass as compared to calculation. So it's always good if we have some calculation in requirement 3. You should identify with relevant calculation the financial, operational, and strategic. 2, 3, and 4. Strategic, what? Risks and benefits, both of the areas that HP should consider when deciding whether to accept this proposal. Both risks and benefits. If let's say if you just provide good risk or benefit for 1-2 areas and miss out other areas, this is something not good basically. This is something not good. You should try to create a balance among all of these points. It is quite possible. You may go with 3 financial points and 2 for operational and 2 for strategic. That is fine. But let's say if you mention 6 points for financial, 4 points for operational and no point for strategic, or just 1 point for strategic, this is something not fair. You should try to create a balance among all of your points. To some extent, 2, 3, 3, 3, 2, 2, that is fine. But mentioning 5 or 6 points for one area, leaving out other sub-requirement, this is something not good. You should incorporate any ethical and business trust issues, business trust aspects, including those arising from Exhibit 19B, basically. I should consider my ethics and business trust requirements for this portion, basically. And again, it has some good marks. If I just go through, then SPS box 3 and AG box 3. So out of 11, these 2 boxes are for ethics. Sometimes we have 1 box, sometimes we have 2 boxes. So at least 10% of marks are for your ethics side, basically. That's what we were discussing in our exam classes, requirements discussion, exam technique session, and so on. So always focus on your boxes, on your ethics, each and everything, because some students think they can pass out without ethics. It could be something very challenging. So this was all about our discussion, how you should analyze, how you should write, how you should prepare, how you should debrief your requirements in your exam, basically. I hope that you have got some of the basic idea. Further, then we will be having a complete comprehensive practice session, then we will be discussing it further. Now it will be the job of students to go through this exam paper, complete this exam paper, write up their exam in a good exam style, share it with me. I will analyze your exam paper according to examiner requirements, marking key that what we have from examiner, and then we will be having a comment. I will provide feedback, detailed feedback, what you have done right, what we should improve, and how we can pass out our exam. I wish good luck to all of you for your exam. Now it's a question answer session. Thank you for joining us this session.